Okay, welcome back to A Doctor's Perspective. Today we're going to talk about Cash PT Lunch Hour, number 17, with Jerry Durham. He's from San Francisco. I'm telling you, I have such an appreciation for construction workers. It makes me think of back in the day when, like, New York City, you know, these black and white artwork where they're building these gigantic skyscrapers. I see that here. They got these massive cranes. They got these little guys on top of these tall buildings. They're building an add-on to this train station I'm at right now. Blow torches on these metal, you know, triangle-shaped structures and these tall pipes. And they're just sitting there, perched, hanging out, relaxed. And other guys are welding, and the cranes are moving up and down, carrying stuff. It's just, it blows my mind, like, the way things are built. And these massive buildings were still had to be built one screw by one screw. You know, one weld to one weld. Crazy. Now, today's show is all about kind of almost the basics of insurance and like running a cash practice. For PTs, you know, it's kind of a new thing. These are conversations we have a lot as chiropractors. So here's the breakdown. First, defining that your patient is your customer, not yourself and not your insurance. Because you get to the point where you could look at a patient and say, they're only worth $30 from insurance. I'm not going to do the same that I would do for someone who's paying $150 cash. And if you start noticing yourself acting that way or being that way, obviously that's a gut check. And that might be time to say, hey, maybe I should just go all cash because I'm not treating each patient the same. And I'm not giving the care that the patient deserves, which is who I want to make happy. Everything for the patient. And that's what this guy, Jerry's USP is, unique selling proposition, is creating a happy patient. And so he noticed his numbers, like we need to make X amount per visit based on our expenses, based on the lifestyle, based on da-da-da. And when he started getting contracts about 7 years ago, that was less than that. And they go to negotiate and they're like, well, you can sign it or not. That's it. He's like, I can't work for that anymore. So he had to get out. And slowly he just got rid of all of them. It's just, you know, cash. And one thing he chose to do to keep that patient, his client, happy is he bills out of network. He does Superbills. And so a big part of the conversation, they're asking the audience kind of questions. What do you do when a potential patient calls your office and asks you that question? Do you take my insurance? So the question is, what does that mean? Well, yeah, I do take your insurance. I'm out of network. And of course, we know they mean in network, but they didn't ask that. You said, yeah, I do take your insurance. Now, the way you really should answer it is getting the acknowledgement and permission. That's that classic. Acknowledge what they're saying, get permission to ask questions. So, do you take my insurance? I do take it. But can we talk about insurance at the end of the call? Because I got a few questions I need to ask first. And I'm going to get to your question, but more at the end. Okay. So then the follow-up question is, so at this point they've given you permission to say, yes, you can ask me some questions. The next question is, what have you done? And the next one is, what can't you do? So you want to set it up like, what have you done? Have you tried physical therapy in the past? Have you just done NSAIDs? Have you tried, I've been to an orthopedic surgeon, that didn't work either. Okay. And then what can't you do? I can't sit for more than 30 minutes at my work without feeling uncomfortable. It hurts to commute to work in my car. I'm thinking about having to buy a new car because I've noticed my spouse's SUV is more comfortable and I drive a sedan. All right, that's a problem, okay? Now, when you get to the end of that, you know, ask those two questions, you get back to the insurance questions. Hey, yeah, what I'm gonna do, someone on my team is going to check your insurance benefits 48 hours before your visit, and they'll get back to you with what they cover. And when you call them back, so A, that sets them up where you're not gonna get it in the same day, but you can't answer a good question of, well, what is it going to cost, which is what they care about at first, without checking the insurance if you're going to do super billing out of network for them. So once you find out, now you can actually have that conversation with them because you might be shocked they're out of network and they're in network is the exact same copay or the same co-percentage, or it's the beginning of the year, they have a deductible to meet regardless, so it doesn't matter where they go. And of course, you start that conversation with reiterating, this is what you tried, this is what didn't work, and here's what your insurance benefits are. The last part of that podcast is they're talking about like back billing and balance building. You know, if you're in network, if you charge $150 and they only pay $75, you can't come after the last $75. And one thing that they had to clarify for themselves several times was just because you billed $150 doesn't mean that's allowed. So when you bill $150 out of network, you're submitting that bill to the patient for the patient to the insurance company. It's up to the insurance company if they pay you or if they'll actually pay the patient. You want to know that ahead of the time. Okay, so if you bill $150, that doesn't mean the insurance will reimburse $150. You know, one charge you might bill $50, but you only get reimbursed $30. So it's always kind of gets a little confusing as what's allowable versus what's billed. So in the out of network, you're billing $150. Maybe the only allowable max that they could ever get is $80. Well, that's why you have to collect up front. Because we all know when a patient owes you money and they feel better a month down the road, 2 months down the road, it's really tough to get them to pay you that extra $45. Now, if you check the benefits correctly, you ask the right questions, after a little bit of a while, you should figure out you have this insurance company, and the patient probably is going to get $55 out of a $150 charge reimbursed, let's just say. And so you know they're probably going to get just paid reimbursed 55. You only, let's just say 50. 50, you only have to charge 100 over the counter, because that other 50 you're going to get from the insurance company. Now, of course, it gets a little confusing. Every plan, that plan might say the check goes to the patient. Well, now you still need to collect that 150, and they'll just get reimbursed 50. So you really, if you're going to do this, you got to have somebody who knows what they're doing, asking the right questions. You might have to ask the same person several different ways to get the answers that you're looking for in the network versus out of network coverage. And so the last thing you want to do is you don't collect the full amount, and then all of a sudden you got to go chasing for money. And even sometimes you get paid more. It's like every now and then you'll get someone to actually get paid more than what you're charging, and you have to let that paperwork know that, hey, patient, if you get a check for more than the 150, you're supposed to send that extra money to us. It's not like you're getting paid back. Okay? You can't make money off your insurance. It's not that confusing when you get to it. There's just a lot of scenarios that you have to really get answers to if you're trying to do the Superbill stuff. Now, there's some practices out there, they're not doing any of that. They're like, look, this is what I got. Is your Superbill. Figure it out on your own. Just this guy, Jerry, he did it the other way around because he felt like it's for the patients, it's confusing. They don't deal with it. They just give their insurance card like they have no idea what's on it, what their rules are. And so if you can just check it so that they're aware of what they're going to be covered, what's not going to be kind of covered, just so they have a financial consideration. That's what you would want probably as a patient too, but it can be done. And I think he's setting up his own consulting firm at some point, or call center, where a certain number for your clinic as far as his people, they answer all the questions and get them signed up. That could be worth something to check out that episode of Cash PT. That way you get Jerry's information, and perhaps he's got this plan ready to go to where you can avoid the confusion and just pay somebody to do it. Sometimes that's definitely worth it. Alrighty, write a review for us. Contact on social media, drperspective.net. In the upper right side, there's all the icons that you could need. Let me know what you think. Alrighty, this is Dr. Justin Trosclair. We're going #BehindTheCurtain.